I grew up in Southeast Michigan. It's home to one of the most proud, sophisticated, and most distressed communities in our country. The poverty rate in the United States is around 14%, but in Detroit it's 35%. It makes that area the fifth most distressed community in the country, according to one study. Detroit faces the same problems as so many other metropolitan areas. It's got high crime, poor water infrastructure, and distressed schools. And now gentrification is displacing poor residents as rents and taxes soar. Rashida Tlaib was elected in 2018 to address those problems in Congress as the first Muslim woman from Michigan and the first of two Muslim women elected to the U.S. House of Representatives. She's also been on the news lately because of controversial statements about Israel. Last week, President Donald Trump persuaded Israeli Prime Minister Bibi Netanyahu to block her entry into Israel, an American ally. Just before Tlaib was sworn into office, we sat down at a leadership conference on civil and human rights event where she laid out her remedies for problems facing communities like hers. Here's that conversation.
I wasn't elected in a predominantly, Muslim or Arab district. This is predominantly African American white community, less than 5% Arab American community. And it's spectacular that, someone like myself and this community could have made history like this. And that makes this, journey and the fact that I've made history and the fact that I represent this district where I was raised even more spectacular. I don't underestimate the direct human contact. Most people that know me and my activism in Detroit know I don't, not any mailer, robocall, an ad on the television screen, any of that could ever replace the direct human contact that you have with people. And all of you know that do grassroots work, that door knock when you're talking to folks, it's not like you made an appointment, you're just there. They're in their moment and what's going on in their lives, and here I am, and that connection instantly happens. And I just kept doing it. We did 55,000 doors within only like a 6-month period. The consistency on the doors, and in different ways they would say it, but they would be like, I was like, anything I should be, he said, just, are you gonna sell us out? And I'm like, what do you, and it was a different way, but they just, are you gonna be one of those that after election, you're just gonna forget about us? Are you gonna be one of those that votes with corporations? Are you gonna be one of those that forgets we pay the highest car insurance in the nation? Are you gonna sell us out? And that was the consistency at the door. And I can tell you what set me apart from the 5 other candidates in the race is I wasn't gonna only just vote the right way, but I was gonna help people through everyday issues. It's interesting, to this day, people still can't pronounce my name, Jamal. They're like Rashida, but they'll be like, oh, you're the Koch girl. And I'm like, oh, that sounds bad. But I went after the Koch brothers, yes.
Tell them the Koch story.
So this is incredible. So before Flint happened, now you gotta get me all my, so
it's both K-O-C-H and C-O-K.
Yeah. So before Flint happened in Michigan, I want to say a year before that or 2 years before that, I had gotten a call that there's these black piles on the Detroit riverfront. Massive piles, 40 feet high. I'm sure your dad told you about it. And it was, this black cloud of dust, and I didn't realize what was going on. And I saw the trucks come from Marathon Oil Refinery, which I grew up, a refinery in my backyard. And it was the fact that they were bringing tar sands in from Canada to this petroleum refinery, and they were producing these little pebbles like petroleum coke, and went right to the riverfront. It's industrialized, so it's not like your fancy river. So it's pretty industrialized, and went over these tracks, a bunch of these gray piles, and got Ziploc bags of the petroleum coke and got it independently tested and released the findings. I got it at an independent, nonpartisan lab, this nonprofit organization. And right after that, that's when the mayor and everybody else got on board and removed the piles from the riverfront.
So you take hands-on government to another level.
And you should see Jamal. People are like, she's crazy. She's one of those, oh my God, she's a state representative. Like, what is she doing? I was like, yeah, you try to get those removed now. Like, that's what you have to do. And
so you talk about, we have a lot of conversation in Washington about climate change.
Yeah.
You talk about environmental justice, and this sort of makes it real for people on the ground. How do you see playing out environmental issues? This is a good story, but how do you see environmental issues played out while you're in Congress?
I mean, I think, one of even just being there for Congress school, or what we call orientation, it's pretty evident that I don't think people understand the true impact of doing nothing. I know 1 of 5 children have asthma in my district. We have the highest rate of asthma hospitalization alone, just where those piles were. I have the 3rd poorest congressional district in the country. And they keep continuing authorizing air permits for my neighborhoods and continue to, just not feel like we deserve some sort of right to breathe clean air. We have the issue around water quality. I think 60 out of the 80 schools that have been tested in Detroit Public Schools now does not have clean drinking water. And it just continues to unfold to see now the impact. And so for me, I'm gonna have to bring those stories, right? I want my families back home and my residents back home to feel like they have a seat at the table and that they have a voice there. Mayors come and go. City council members come and go. Just watch the turnovers. And what doesn't go away is the actual residents, the neighborhoods. They stay there. And that's who we need to be investing in having at the table.
General Motors announced that it's going to lay off some employees and close plants. How do you, as a new member of Congress, engage on that with the company as well as helping the residents who may be losing their jobs?
There's accountability here. We did a lot from destroying a neighborhood in Hamtramck, Poletown, to the number of tax breaks that we've given to GM. And, I come from the Motor City. This is, when it comes to the big 3, it's like whatever you want, the red carpet. Now we're kind of waking up to the fact that we can't do that anymore. And that's where I'm consistently pushing the community benefits agreement process. You want to get our public money. This is money comes out of school aid, comes out of city services. This is real money that we could be collecting, because they'll say to you, and you're at your city council meetings or your local, it's not a check, Rashida. I said, yeah, but it's money we're deferring and saying we're not going to collect. So it is very much us handing over a check. And we don't ask anything of tangible anything in return, because they say jobs. Well, one, jobs don't fix cancer. Jobs hasn't been able to really elevate a lot of us out of poverty. We got to have multiple jobs. There's so many things that we have to be pushing up against.
So the person who sounds like he agrees with you about dealing with corporate subsidies is President Trump. What happened?
I don't know. His intentions are different, I think.
What if he calls you and asks you for your support as he deals with the company and tries to shut down?
Look, I don't know what I would be supporting, right? I don't know what, he says things, it's like he legislates through Twitter, so I'm not really sure. I need to see something and understand what he's proposing.
Would you go meet with them? Would you go to the White House?
Of course, I would meet with anybody. Everyone should know that about me. I will meet with anyone.
Do you think that President Trump is engaging in a culture war?
I don't know what he's doing. I think there's so much, even when I watch national media outlets, it's baffling because we're all guessing. It's all guessing, what is in his mind? What do you think that tweet was about? See that letter, Sessions' letter? He probably forced him. It's like we're all guessing.
How do you navigate with a president who's willing to have a Muslim ban, to send troops to the border? He really does go after issues of race as a polarizing weapon. What do you do to combat that?
I truly believe he's racist. And it's probably controversial. He is. It's in his policies, it's in his words. And the fact of the matter is he's still our president. Until he is not, but it doesn't matter. I'm going to still hold him accountable. That's my duty, and that is what people are probably elected us to do. But I can tell you, just also, when folks tell you that we turned red district into blue, don't let them feel like we somehow flipped Trump supporters. No. Michigan, 4 years ago, 3.1 million people came out. 4.3 million people came out this time around. If we increase voter turnout by 2% alone in Detroit, by 2%, if we increased it during the presidential election, he would have not won Michigan. So please do not think my state is somehow red. It's because they weren't inspired to come out and vote, and that's something we're going to continue to change, hopefully, in the next cycle. So.